There's so much history to that. Mimi alluded to it on the desk. An agent that defined his career, that made Taco what he is now.
Oh, look at this. Leviathan relying on some very standard stuff.
There.
Just replacing the Harbor, or the Viper with the Harbor here. Throwing up a lurk wall, and it lasts a lot longer than that Viper wall lurks.
It's interesting, too, the way they chose to do that, because they cascaded in front of it, leaving a pocket where somebody could have been, but they walked their way through it. Taco tried finding space, but Leaf's patience pays off.
Oh, what the heck is that?
That was bold. That was aggressive. It looked like he tried hitting him in the face with the paint shells. Shy on the swing gets cleaned up, a 1v1, and we wouldn't have it any other way. Rooney's going to be rotating from B, and he's going to be late to the party.
And he has no util with him, doesn't even have the cam, which could be a blessing and a curse.
Ooh.
So he won't have to give up his position.
Bold from Azino to try to fill in U-Haul there.
Yeah, but he has to worry about short too, because remember, Taco died very early. That trip is completely inactive.
9 bullets on the classic.
All this time gave Rooney to get backside.
He's got a cascade and a high tide. A little bit of indecision as Rooney also has to meticulously check every single corner that's around. Rooney's gotten it to half. Is he going to pull off? Oh, he's going to keep it all the way, and the first right click missed, but the second did not.
Oh my goodness. And I'm not even sure if Rooney tucked a little bit farther deep.
Yeah, he may have had more time.
He might have had space to stick there. Eventually, Mazzino would have realized and gone deep for that. Either way, Leviathan with the pistol again. It was crucial for them to get that one in the second half of Haven. They got both on Haven as well.
Dude, Mazzino took a ton of damage there on that. He got down to 13 HP.
I didn't even realize Rooney got a shot up.
Yeah.
And we're going for 2 Bulldogs here. I mean, they've shifted up the buys so significantly.
Oh, look at this Viper wall out from Cloud9 here. Oftentimes you'll see it a little bit further south in order to block the exit out of Hookah and to block Octagon, but it's much deeper towards site here.
Right there.
We'll keep a close eye on how they choose to continue to play those walls. Meanwhile, for Leviathan, you see the same Harbor wall that we saw in the previous round.
The fact that you can't really cycle that high tide and cascade combination that acts the same way as that Viper wall orb combination makes their options limited. But you can tell they're really set up for anti-eco right now, sitting outside a bathroom, waiting for a pick, waiting for a peek, trying to get information, whether Cloud9's going to do anything. They stayed on the other side of the map for quite a while. Now they move forward.
Remember, they tried contacting up. Showers in the previous round, and Taco got dropped. This time they're finding so much more space. The high flash, and that nade is going to dissuade just for a little bit. Leaf on the angle once more with the Marshall not connecting either. Shot, and Jake is much worse for wear. Just takes so much damage. Seems like this should be another clean Leviathan round unless Cloud9 can win one of those vintage thrifty rounds. It's eluded them so much on Haven. And it does not look like it's going to be the case here. Zealous is left to try to make a play, and he cannot. A flawless round from Leviathan.
I think Cloud9's got to be really, really unhappy about what side they're starting on here, because this is where it all fell apart on Haven as well. And I think they lost a lot of their firepower on that defense in terms of these eco rounds. You're asking them right now to be put in the position to play a full best of 5. And they made a massive gamble at the beginning of the day by banning Fracture instead of Bind.
Yep.
You mentioned how Cloud9 has been really avoiding this since that EG series in playoffs. Leviathan's not been forced to this map, but they've not been avoiding it either. They've been floating it the entire time.
Oh, they got to be careful here. They tried setting up a trap, a crunch on back showers, but they're going to be overwhelmed by what Leviathan are throwing up long. Look at how far back Cloud9 have to go.
Got pushed behind. Well, Trip catches him, but the spam forced him off before he could do anything with it.
There's another. That's
What
weird.
is that, Trip?
Look at how far up Nazar is, too. Does he dare go? The flash is actually towards elbow. So there's nothing for him to entry in. He's just going to wait. Playing ahead of the cage. Very well done to pop in, but Leaf just plays it better. So nicely considered. King's transfer's clean. Now Mazzino with the orb to buy some cover and buy some space. Well handled by Zeppa. Just 2 remaining for Leviathan. Make that one. Mazzino cannot hold it. Cloud9 are on the board.
And that orb, the Cove, actually made it really difficult for him to play around. It gives so much room for Cloud9 to duck in and out. he was inside of it, it would have been a different story, but that's a good anti-bonus from Cloud9. Not something they were able to succeed on at Haven. And Leaf, twice now he wins the fight against Taco, who's going to consistently be looking to take battles, and Side of showers there. And you have to be winning those early before Taco starts to consider opping on that attack side, before he gets his tour de force online. Because then he'll start getting the advantage in that situation. You're going to have to start considering just walling him off entirely. Or smoking him off.
King and Shy both 1 point away from having very important ults online on the attack side.
And look, they're posted to try to get another one. That's why they're using an entire ult to get bathroom control right now, so that they can get an orb over towards Shy like you called up.
There's the Seekers funneling out, and with that Leviathan follow, Taco's getting the opener already. They've fully taken control of site. Zelsis, or excuse me, Rooney's still playing towards B, just now starting to rotate over.
Spike planted.
Oh, he's forward in front of it.
Oh, of course he is. But Mazzino's there to greet.
Jesus. You're thinking that he gets ahead of that cascade and all of a sudden he's in a good position. Mazzino doesn't care at all.
Oh, they found the judge.
And now all they need to do is look from a distance at this Vandal.
And you hear Nasr satcheling up towards heaven. Rooney understanding there's pressure from all sides.
Oh, and he just triggered the trap as well inside of hookah. You're right, Nasr satchel up there. So easy to pinch in. And King did not need to spend his orbital strike because the kills came in so fast.
Yeah.
Taco getting the opener and then another kill backside. That's before you even have Mazzino getting those two in the middle of all that. You know, use that Sky ult though.
Yeah. We talked a lot about Taco, and for good reason in this series. We talked a ton about King in the previous series, and for good reason as well. Mazzino has quietly put together a very impressive 2 series back-to-back here.
And when you talk about, you know, the difficulty and the mental struggles that require, or that are almost given in a best-of-5 series like this, he was a guy who's getting punished so many times on Split and on Haven. So yeah, that's huge. This feels early from MCE, but they also haven't really been getting off to slow starts that often. It was only what, Pearl? Yeah, it was like so long ago, but
I mean, I think it was long ago. CMC calm, communicating. Down 2 rounds early on Bind, but 1 map to decide it all. And as I was saying earlier, I mean, everyone in the crowd, everyone watching at home has been gifted with an amazing series here in the Solar Final.
It's rare. I'll say it again, it's super rare you get an opportunity to watch an attempt at a reverse sweep. It's even rarer that it happens.
Yeah.
We have a lot of best of 5s in the circuit. And the attempts have only come 6 times.
Deep flash getting some info for Zeppa. You see the buy for Cloud9 isn't great.
I'm looking for the adjustment here from Cloud9. They've swapped the Viper wall over towards the bathroom side. But Rooney was always playing on this B side. He just usually had a strange wall to help him out, kind of behind his trips, so that maybe he can get some kills off of the trips, but it's just not happened yet for them.
Pretty sure he was still walking backwards when he hit that shot.
Taco's doing that without his TP. It was on cooldown because he pulled it back as he watched for other pushes. Now he's posted up into a great post-plant position.
Yep. With that TP that you're just mentioning. Came up online. You see Leaf close by with the 40.
If I see them invest it here,
I don't think
they're not going to. But it's not, you know, it's
not out of the realms of possible with Cloud9. You're right.
Cloud9 just go for it so often.
The second flawless round for Leviathan in what, 5 rounds that we've played.
Try to stay serious here.
Yeah, this is, I mean, again, to bring it back to the veto discussion, they took a big risk by banning out Fracture early to try to get the map pool lopsided in their favor in the beginning of this. And I think that was a great strategy. But when it falls apart in the last moments, I mean, the conversation after map 4 must have been like, oh, I'm sorry for this veto. Like, this has gone, this is possibly the worst situation you could end up in, because Cloud9, you look at it on paper, you think maybe they needed to go in and win it in 4.
That was the same tether setup that Taco had from the previous round, and the kills are so carefully considered across short.
This is a gun round, and they're going for a push through their own orb there.
Nasr investing the ult, and I don't think he's going to find anything here. You hear it shot off towards Lamps, the nade there too to make sure no one's ahead of it.
It's just a guarantee that nobody else is pushing up against it.
And Zelsus tried finding time on the other side of the nade, but Nasr considered it too. Still 3v2 in favor of Leviathan. This has gotten close. This is a 2v2 now. Cloud9 snatch it back.
I think Leviathan thought they won the round already when they got those first 2 kills.
Yeah, I agree completely.
But it's still the same situation that is unfolding throughout the entire series, where Leviathan getting those first kills and then losing 5v3s, 5v4s, 5v2s in some cases.
Taco well ahead of it. It was traded too after another kill went down short, and then Nasr with another, but Rooney and Zeppa with a massive close to the round.
Yeah, the fact that Rooney gets all the way out there in front of Truck catches King completely by surprise.
And so we see the first ult from Taco. We'll see if it gets challenged at all.
He's dueling down short again. I mean, he's been having such success with the Vandal.
Oh, Mazzino.
It's interesting that Mazzino's taking that position instead of Taco when he has his ult up. Instead, he walks all the way up with the harbor wall.
Oh, that's going to give everything away.
Yeah. And tough to work from here. They still got a minute left, so they can definitely continue to work the map, but this is the opportunity right now for Cloud9 to go for some extra space.
And they've taken some. They have full showers control.
Caution here.
Jake is posted up there.
At least got satchels. You can get away from this.
That's still not going to feel good. Yep. Oh, almost gets a second, but Zeppa's there to help.
And that's a situation where your Viper's on the other side of the map, not really knowing exactly what's going on. If he was closer, he might have been able to put that wall up in time for Leaf to get out. Instead, he's left alone again.
Left.
We saw it so many times on Haven. 25 seconds, though.
It's interesting. King has had this orbital strike for a little while.
Taco's actually potentially going to get a lurk through. If they can get this plant stay alive.
They're going to flip the map, but it's too late.
And
they don't have showers control.
Yeah, Jake's still here. They're going to go knife out in this.
They never considered this.
10 seconds.
No way.
Player
And we
standing.
talked about it at what, halfway
down
through the
A.
round. Jake had taken showers control and just never gave it up. Another huge play from the youngster.
At the beginning of this series, he was incredibly good.
Yeah.
We were singing his praises for his lurks, singing his praises for his patience, able to contain lurks in most cases. And here he is again, maybe injecting some life by
10
just
seconds
holding
left.
firm.
One enemy remaining.
You mentioned King and his ult. How long he's had it. I mean, we're talking round 4 when they went for that Seeker execute. Now, is he really trying to feint that he's going through this when there's a pit up? That's a pretty crazy proposition. And question asked of Cloud9, are you going to actually respect this? And they will. Look at this. They're spending a dog to get through it. But losing Zelsus would be terrible. So they take the precautions.
I wonder if they used the orbital strike to challenge the pit.
Yeah, with somebody walking in the front of it, something
Yeah.
like that could definitely do it. But without confirmation exactly where, it's so tough to make a call like that.
It's very difficult.
I like that Taco's been really playing by himself, but I love this wall against the chamber. It's doing such a good job at just denying the opportunity for picks like this.
Ooh. Getting away, but having to do so via the teleport.
Oh, they split the side on the other side. A very unconventional high tide. A lot of space given to the backside. They could easily swing through this, though.
Oh, that cosmic divide. They're already ahead of it
30
all.
seconds left.
And you still have Mazzino who's waiting in short.
I've got
They
your
can take a
trail.
step back, but they can't step back too far! Jake with another massive round for Cloud9.
Last player standing.
Cloud9 looking to tie this up unless Mizzino can pull off a 1v4. The spam through as Zeppa's gotten it to half. He has to take a step back, and Zeppa's going to take it the entire way. We're tied up.
What a round from Jake.
I'm getting tired of saying that.
He's had so many. Thinking back to so many of the early maps. It's that injection that you really need. I love this. It's a very strange Astral Wall, by the way. You called out how they're already ahead of it. It's kind of threatening that there's going to be people playing in cubbies.
Yeah.
Or actually completely isolating the players who are in bench, forcing them to swing through against you. But Leviathan just doesn't even care about it. They don't even consider playing back there the entire time. And still, now we've got the harbor ult, we've got the brim ult still. This is a combination could definitely do work.
Yeah, I really want to see it pop, and there it is. The orbital strike, but the problem is it delays the push. It delays the push, and Leaf is able to hold his ground. It gets traded, yes, but how much more can they find? Zeppa swinging ahead of it. He's found a ratty little corner and destroys Taco for it. Zeppa still looking to deal damage and cannot, but Cloud9 with the numbers. And Leviathan left with questions.
Well, Leviathan started strong on this map. To me, in these last couple of rounds, it feels like they've reverted to Scrim Leviathan, where they're just constantly going for same idea, not really trying to counter out, for example, this Viper Wall that's being placed down. It's so unique. Just going across the middle of the site. Normally you're blocking hookah window, you're blocking the long walkout. It's so unique. And it's forcing Leviathan in situations that they're really uncomfortable with. You can tell.
30 seconds left.
It's caused fits. They hear the cam. The deep flash. Do they even manage to get the spike down? There's no one really covering. Oh, but there's no challenge from Cloud9. Wow. There was a threat. The cage. Maybe Rooney pushes into it, but never comes.
Ooh, King gets into the middle of it. If that pops,
yeah,
you're not going to hear the cue that he gets in. They were waiting for Zalsis, now regrouping back towards it. King, meanwhile, has completely cleared that elbow push.
They have to play ahead of the wall, too, because of where Zalsis is. He's still alive. He's got him, too. But Zalsis is there to save it. King looked cold for a second there, man. I thought he was going to do it.
I've seen clutches from that same position so many times. It's really tough to actually swing through that choke synchronized, so it's 1 by 1 so often. You don't have enough room to really layer yourselves on that triple swing. And here it is, first time out for Leviathan. Time to address some of the possible adjustments here.
After 4 rounds in a row from Cloud9.
Because while I feel like King's Eye gelling on Haven was fantastic. I mean, like Valen said on the desk, just constantly finding the right site. I do feel like right now I'm seeing them revert to the same sort of tendencies where you get comfortable calling the same ideas, same strats. For example, this high tide that's emulating the Viper lurk down short.
Yeah.
It's every round here from Leviathan. And that might be part of the game plan. That might be why they picked this comp. But at the same time, you watch other teams, and maybe it's just impossible of a task to, emulate Paper X, but you want to see some of this explosiveness with this comp as well.
Yeah, and that really just hasn't been the case. The one time we saw a quick, fast pop, it felt like they shot themselves in the foot with the positioning of the orbital strike. The fact that the spike was lagging behind in hookah, it didn't have the same go. So they were only really able to push out of Octagon in that round. We'll see what the adjustments are. And really, through the whole conversation we had, we didn't even address the fact that this Viper wall is still pesky towards B, and they haven't really found out how to navigate through it. And Rooney, done that twice now. Rooney continues to set up his utility ahead of it.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? You have to clear the site for util. You can't get caught by it, but at the same time, you want to be walking behind that wall. The problem is, they could drop it at any time. So once you walk behind it, you find yourself in a position where you're on a timer and you have no clue when it's going to happen. I want to see them take elbow control from that, though. I mean, they have the tools.
Yeah.
Out of the timeout, it's the same call. High tide down short, try to threaten the lurk.
See if we can get, if Nazar can get that orb, that will have a showstopper online. He's got the nade and 2 satchels to work with. There's the orb. Thing is, they can't easily flip here. They don't have showers control.
Some of the time when you watch players be completely on this lurk roll, on this bathroom control solo,
Yeah.
you see them start to gain confidence. Taco's not really fighting as aggressively as some of the other players that we've seen completely take over games like that.
Right there.
I think of, you know, Alpha Year at Tokyo, just dominating down that lane. Here's the ult that you were talking about. Way high! And he catches him while trying to escape.
I thought Leaf was going to get away. Jake repositioning. He's feeling the pressure in from showers. Taco has to make a play, and he cannot.
Is it another vintage Jake round right now?
No, Mazzino stopping it dead in its tracks. Number still for the attacking side, though. A position to tie things up here, but Zelsis has gone unchecked. He's gone unconsidered. And the Cove is protecting him for now. Does he dare push ahead of the smoke?
Is there a flash yet from Zeppa? Looks like that's what they're waiting for cooldown to come back. It's way away.
Yeah, how patient are they going to be?
They can't wait for it.
They have to go ahead of it. Rudy's dropped from up in heaven. Mazzino gets a second, and now Zelsis has to make the play happen on his own. He's taking care of one, but he has so many more to consider. And he's calling the round. Leviathan have tied us at 5.
Right out of the timeout. The good call, though, to go for the orb play first.
And then the mechanics from Nas were to land the shot on to leave.
Yeah, I mean,
As
the
you mentioned.
patience.
Yeah, he was satcheling out of there. That's a difficult shot to hit on the fly.
And the height that he got in the first place. I love the wide-shotted look at this. Flash over, showstopper out, Leaf. Here's his time. And when you get so high, it's like impossible to miss. That lands on top of the truck, by the way. What a shot.
And also, you got to commend Leaf for having the quick reaction to even get that far away.
Yeah.
Remember, he had nade out when that ult started.
Well, also, I would like to continue to point out the fact that he's again left in these situations where he has to react so hard.
Yeah. A little Roomba on Roomba action. Destroying one another.
Don't show that to the AIs.
Showers has just been such tough treading for Leviathan. And look, it's got the potential to be that again. Nas were trying to swing ahead of it, the nade, but you haven't considered the other side. Oh, they know. Leaf is so dead.
It's again.
Yeah.
Same exact situation.
Meanwhile, Leviathan have taken a lot of control down B.
And Zeppa's trying to play ahead of this right now. They might have information. That's King and Taco playing super passive. Oh, look at this. Instantly as they walk away, it looks like Cloud9 got information as they walk down short behind them. There's going to be a huge pinch if they're fast enough.
And there's nothing to consider. Taco doesn't have a trip down.
If Zeppa gets one, that flank is going to come super fast. He doesn't get it, though.
They go off of this. They're stimmied. They're healed. They're flashing out. The site is theirs. But they have no idea where the flank is.
Look at the trick.
And King has the chicken.
Good awareness, man.
Confirming his suspicions.
Spike
And
planted.
staying alive with it. They have the Reckoning and the Orbital Strike, too.
Only one spotted. And this trip doesn't really gain even more information.
Yeah.
Now they do know it's both on the flank.
That's why you saw Mazzino put that wall up and the smoke back towards spawn. But now understanding that everything is ahead of them, everything is before them. King still playing up in hookah. Jake trying to funnel out. They invest the Orbital Strike, yeah, in an interesting moment, but it secures the round. It gets Leviathan the lead.
Yeah, it secures the round. It also gets them
Last
without
round
losing
in the
more.
half.
Yeah.
King can play very selfish there, and he can secure the round in any case. 100%, not 100%, but like very guaranteed in that in any situation that comes through, just because he has that orbital strike. But the choice he makes here, it's a risk because it's used before anything happens.
Yeah.
It's a risk because you don't guarantee that there's value there.
Yep. Late in round in a
But
3v2.
You make it so that it's easy for you to play with your team there.
Sure. And they still keep Mazzino's Reckoning online. Different Viper wall.
Oh, the flash down long, time to swing.
Oh, huge out from Leaf. They were expecting that deep flash from long, and that's where you see the setup. Mazzino trying to get past it, though. He's ahead of it. He's got that Reckoning. They're going to exact onto this. There are 3 members of Cloud9 here.
What?
And they're all going to hold the line unless Mazzino can do something about it, and he does.
Still, the Cloud9 players, despite getting stunned up there by that Reckoning, able to make this a 2v2 somehow. So 2 players coming from spawn, still doable.
The pesky Cam lighting up Shy, and in the face of that, he gets a kill on his Elsis anyway, but Rooney with the Sheriff.
As his ult, he could pop it for info on where Mazzino is.
But he's patient. Mazzino wraps around and gets Leviathan to 7.
That's the half. So quick it feels like.
Switching sides.
We've been here for almost 5 hours, and this one goes by in a flash. And Leviathan's in the lead, but narrowly.
Unreal. Just 2 rounds. We're going to take a look at that one more time because that's a round that is so fitting of the entire series. For it to go down to a 1v1, for it to go to a situation where Rooney had his ult, where he could have guessed right, and it was a 50-50. Which way could he be? The setup from Cloud9 at the beginning, the opening from Leaf, and the counterpunch from Leviathan.
Remaining.
Unreal. But again, so fitting.
Yeah.
Just so poetic for it to be Mazzino one more time. Let's hear from Leviathan's Noswar and why he thinks Cloud9 is such a difficult opponent to take down.
Yo siento que Cloud9 es un equipo que se adapta muy bien a las situaciones que tiene enfrente, y que son un equipo que decide muy rápido lo que quiere hacer, se encuentra en una situación y suelen tomar decisiones rápido como para resolverlas. Entonces a eso me refiero, que el estilo de juego de ellos se resuelve mucho en eso, en poder adaptarse a situaciones que se presentan en el momento muy rápido y en sincronización con el equipo.
For as much as Noswar understands the difficulty and what they're trying to achieve, the truth is they find themselves closer than Cloud9 do. Up 2 rounds going into the second half of map 5.
Just crazy. And I think what he was talking about there too, really important for Leviathan to learn as an overall lesson, not just against Cloud9, although Noswar gave so much props to Cloud9.
Rightfully so.
Being able to adapt is something that has completely missed for Leviathan over the entire season. I think it's grown in them in this LCQ after that first loss. Once they started playing like it was last chance, as Taco said. And because of that, I think you saw it a lot on Haven, you saw it a lot on Split as that reverse sweep started to get going.
And as we close out this halftime, I want to draw you all again back to how these 2 teams have gotten here. Remember, for Cloud9, expectations were in the bin at the beginning of the season. Who's Rooney? Who's Jake? Who are these youngsters, and how are they going to pull this off? And they take Americas by storm. Second only to Loud. They stumble in the playoffs, and they found themselves 2 rounds away from going to Tokyo. And they fall short. They have to sit back and watch as EG puts on an insane miracle run. And now they find themselves in LCQ in a position that everyone thought, oh, this is theirs for the taking. I mean, surely with how strong they were, and yeah, they fumbled in playoffs, but you know how good they are. And they find themselves with backs against the ropes against a team that struggled, I mean, for the majority of the split, if we're being honest. Unfortunately, a whimper from the Cloud9 faithful in the crowd, and that feels like that's, that's not quite right, is it? I don't know where that orb was intended to go, but it wasn't intended to go there.
Little trap play here set up. Taco's going to take first contact. If they do end up going down long, a flash will come through with a nade from Noswar, and they'll swing together, Noswar and Shy, while Taco gets out to safe harbor. And Trip covers Hookah as well. How does Cloud9 read this situation? Leaf has been so good at that exact task. Oh, missed flash there.
Yeah, that didn't make it up in Hookah.
Either way, the information wouldn't have been there. They ducked away from it. And they're actually returning back towards A with that recalled smoke from Jake. That might be a cue. Flash through bathroom, gets no info though.
And it's a false sense of info too, because you see Jake is starting to fill behind that space. Also, the cam from Rooney confirms that there's nothing that's been pushed up through shower, so they know they have that space they can play through.
Love this from Mazzino. Had an opportunity to use the high tide. He waits until his team starts rotating. The nade onto Jake is perfect.
He's not able to clean anything up behind it either.
And they're gonna flip. Shy is here.
And he's playing this safe. He knows that Cloud9 are coming for him. Oh, and his position's given away. That flash is great, but he's got a flash of his own off the swing. He's not able to find anything. Well handled by Zeppa.
12 seconds though. They're swinging. They're flooding.
Can they do it? Mazzino keeping him back. Mazzino with 3 and another round for Leviathan.
Both pistols in the book. Here for Leviathan, and my oh my, have everything switched. As we started the series, it was like, no pistols going Leviathan's way. The eco's not really working. All of a sudden, here they are, up big. As we start this second half and the final half.
Yeah, Jake had no shot in that position.
Was there a final flash there to confirm his position?
I believe so, yeah.
It must have. It must have come through. That's why that nade is so perfect. Insta-wall, Mazzino did that on the pistol as well.
It's so difficult to get through with unless there's a lot of go behind it, and that's just not the case. Well handled by King, the nade to provide some cover. That's really pretty out of Leviathan. Cloud9 will likely find themselves down 4 rounds on the other side of this. Although it is a sheriff in the hands of Rooney and in the hands of Zeppa. So it's certainly not all done. But Leviathan in a position to have a huge lead here if they can close this out.
Are we watching a replay right now? What's going on?
It's like we've seen this before for sure. And if nothing else, to get some plant money.
Yes. And that's crucial. A lot of people did buy up sheriffs. I mean, Leviathan strat maybe. Smoke's coming out. Zeppa, he's stuck in a real tough position.
I mean, the round is a real tough position for the ones that remain on Cloud9 to begin with.
I think a really good indicator of Cloud9's success is obviously winning ecos, right? I'm not saying that they should win every single one, but their performance on the ecos that they don't win as well. I think
I agree.
If somebody looked into that, you might end up finding an on-form Cloud9 is one that's really making these situations super close, and it's just not even that. It's a very
Enemy remaining.
That's 3.
passive attempt to go through that smoke. No flash, nothing like that. King is just standing on the angle. Nals ready to nade too.
And that huge round from King, it started off with what, 3 kills he got and an orb, gave him his orbital strike in the 3rd round of the half. We talked about how he was a bit perhaps skittish on wanting to use it in the first half, but this early on defense is a different story. Leaf still getting the best of Taco though.
Yeah, it's been back and forth between the two in the first half.
Well, now we're having Telly to get out.
Yeah, and that leaves Shy alone.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Leaf managing to clean it up, not without taking a considerable amount of damage though, but you see the difference in the rifles in the hands of Cloud9.
Look at this pace. I mean, they just completely ripped apart that setup.
Yeah.
That Leviathan had on the pistol as well. Remember, it was the same thing. I mentioned how Taco's going to play his TP. He gets ripped before even getting into position. That pace is something Cloud9 can rely on to maybe get them some momentum back here. King and Nosworth need to try to do some damage here.
There's just really no way for them to get in.
Yeah, it's interesting. Looks like there's
The die to the spike.
die to the spike, yeah. I mean, there are a couple people close. Zeppa, for example. Leaf with 2 kills could, yeah, you don't want to give him any ults, but at the same time, this is their first big buy here from Cloud9, right? So, and here's Sliggy talk about this all the time with Leviathan. It's like they never go for just a few kills, and they end up doing things like this. Obviously, they don't fully save, but it allows Cloud9 to start snowballing that bank just a little bit.
Exactly. Just a crack in the window. It's a small one, but we've seen how momentum-driven this series has been. I mean, you think through even individual maps and how streaks have really just kind of gotten us to this point. They've dictated the series. Also, what a massive round from Leaf.
Yes.
The face of the flash, diffing Taco, and then getting a second on site.
Yes. Given the struggles he has, and look at this.
In the last
Double
2
satchel coming in.
Wait, there's going to be presence on the other side.
A flash through as well. Leaf is way deep.
The nade to... Oh, well handled. Very well handled, and they're going to swing for a second.
There's a smoke there. The ults.
They're going to get out. Just barely. Jake with 45 HP manages to stay alive. And you can't imagine he's going to re-hit through here. But maybe that shot from Jake confirms it.
They just walked dry up short, by the way. No Viper wall at all.
They know. That's a spike, by the way. He's there by himself. But if there's enough pressure, if there's enough kills in space, and Cloud9 can find on A through sight, there's room for Jake to work, but they both fall.
I mean, look how methodically they just took him down there. That's crazy. I mean, he's been stuck inside the portal by himself almost the entire round, and now it's like he comes back out.
He tucked in there when the Trailblazer came through to try to spot him,
Comes back out after the bombs have dropped and his entire team is gone. And we're talking a lot about Leaf. This is a guy who's been so close to these international tournaments. I mean, a big portion of the Cloud9 squad.
Wow.
Since Champions 2021 has been missing by one best of 3 to these global tournaments over and over. And his form on the defense, you remember how often he was just getting pushed and put in these impossible situations. Now he has the opportunity to have that go button himself.
Really core harbor wall set up here.
Oh, the
Tab,
orb is
cascade
long.
short, and then the long wall through B, and that allowed Taco to tuck in and get a kill.
I mean, it's a good idea with the orb. It's kind of nice. You can lurk through it, do exactly that, but Leaf by himself goes into the back of that. Why is there not 2 people walking there? So that's at least tradable.
That cascade is going to be a little late, though, but the Reckoning will not. But there's so much disarray on the site. They still have Octagon control, and they've got to deal with Jake. Meanwhile, Zeppa's finding a massive opener. Taco cleaning him up. So many more in front of him, and he finds none. Drop the Seekers, too, along with the Neural Theft, and the Seekers trying to find King.
Yeah.
They're going to flip it. They're out.
And the Cypher's still up, so these trips are here. Nosworth does have a satchel, but he does trip the...
Yeah, he's tagged by one of them. King's going to be rotating through defender spawn. Nosworth ahead of it, looking to push the pace on his Elsis. The cam and the bullets from Zelsis were just too much. And now King stares down in a position to try to do something in a 1v3 where Zeppa's weak. But, I mean, the finances are okay. This, again, it reminds me of the conversation we were having earlier, an opportunity, a position for Leviathan to try to deal some financial damage. But not keen on, maybe the fear is giving Celsius the ult again.
Yeah. And I mean, in moments like this, when you're 3 rounds away from going to the grand finals, any ult cycles from Cloud9 is something you want to avoid.
I do want to be careful, though, for Leviathan here, because I think there are 2 approaches that you can have on this. You can play not to lose, or you can play to win, right? And for Leviathan, given that their DNA, their genetic makeup for the majority of the split has been one of hesitation, of rigidity, of perhaps, you know, more structure, it's easy to revert to, we've gotten this far, let's play to not lose. And that can be all the difference here.
Brings back that conversation you're having about the coaches and their conversation, how owners trying to bring that rallying cry.
Wait,
they're pushing this time.
Stimmy, the ult! And it's a misfire, but Shy with the trade!
And no punish either. Secrets are going to allow him some space to breathe.
There's another.
A crazy play off of the barrier dropping.
Such a quick exchange of blows between the 2. It seemed like Cloud9 had firm control, but that counterpunch from Shy was filthy.
Think back to his performance on Haven, that 32 bomb. Just crazy. And Mazzino's joined him. They're walking.
Another contact play.
Both sides.
But Mazzino's gonna drop! And he gets away!
Spike down.
I thought for sure he was gonna be punished!
No speed there from Zelsis Aruni.
Meanwhile, Taco's gonna be rotating through spawn. He has an op.
He's given himself actually so much room to drop out right as Shy comes through. There's a Molly at his feet, but the cascade.
Spike play.
Oh, Rooney taking a little bit of damage. Mazzino's gonna push it. Mazzino's gonna push it! 3 for the controller and 10 for Leviathan! And now 11 off of the side of this defuse.
And you think back to that decision too. For King not to push a kill in that last round. Zelsis would have had his ult before. Maybe that situation went down. Instead, he gets it off of the spike tap, or the spike plant. And we're now 2 rounds away from Leviathan. Looking at the eco right now for Cloud9, it is not looking great.
And you're expecting a timeout here, surely, right? On the side of Cloud9, you call something. Do you just let it go?
Looks like it.
I guess he does.
Let's make some chaos.
This is crazy. Here's, again, the double satchel for Leaf. He has ult as well he can punish. But remember how hard this got absolutely slapped last time.
Yeah.
Left Jake alone in bathroom by the TP. And Taco's got his op online now. They spot it with the camp. A lot of util used right here for Leviathan. Cloud9's gotten in position to actually execute onto this A side.
What's the hit though? Is it Leaf? Is it the showstopper? Anyway, you take a look at King. He's just gone exploring.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a 4-person stack here because of that. He can't get through those trips. He's got to wait for the Cypher to go down or just break him. Can't wait the entire round. But he's getting so much information.
That information's going to help too. That nade is deep. Here's the ult. No satchels! No fire! Leviathan have held them back completely. I mean, they're on the precipice of doing the unthinkable. One round away. And Fade is a cruel, cruel mistress for Cloud9 to once again find themselves so close, yet so far. And you hear it from the crowd, uno más. That's all it takes for Leviathan. The reckoning for Mazina, who's 24-10, by the way.
The last couple of rounds from him have been fantastic. Leviathan are trying right now to make this LCQ a LATAM affair. When at Tokyo, it was the first time we didn't see a LATAM team. There's another one for Taco.
An eruption of cheers from the crowd as they're one step closer.
Here.
Second shot rattling off, not connecting, but Lee feeling pressure. They know where he is. He's spammed, he's done. Only 3 now. 2 stingers and a guardian. Now we're having to give the space back. That's another one. Rooney and Zelsis, all that are left. The spike in hand, they're all on site. There's the reckoning invested. Rooney falls. Zelsis does too. They've done it. They've freaking done it. It's a miracle in Santa Monica. And Leviathan take down Cloud9.
In a reverse sweep. Only the second time in the main VCT circuit. And we've got that LATAM VLATAM final. The rivalry that we wanted to watch for so long in this America's League. That's just unbelievable what they just pulled off.
Take a look at these plays one more time. Relive the magic. After the opening to this series, down 2-0. Leviathan claw their way back in. And it was not without heroics. I mean, you see Jake's 3K right there off of that interesting cosmic divide, the space he was able to take, but Leviathan, it just felt like they met every single punch with a counter of their own.
Yeah.
And once they had the lead, they were off to the races.
Bind was absolutely their playground. And this is what I was talking about the veto. It's interesting too, because we thought for sure there was moments in this series where there was must-win maps for Leviathan.
Yeah.
Pearl, for example, they're 8-0 on that map. They lose it
One enemy.
and still come back in this one. On Split, on Haven, and then Bind to complete the second reverse sweep ever in the main VCT circuit. The third, including Game Changers.
beautiful here in the Riot Games arena. All smiles.
This is just the most wild LCQ to have imagined. I don't think anybody could have imagined this situation.
No shot.
For Lev to be the LATAM team going through the lower bracket, for Crew to be in the grand finals, and I did feel like something was missing watching Crew go on into that grand finals without the coach on the screen right now. But it's on to different things here. Leviathan versus Crew for that final spot at Champions.
And again, to remember how rough of a year it was for Leviathan up until this point. So many questions about the coaching philosophy and how their star was struggling and it didn't feel like he was finding his footing. And then King is good, Mazzino's good, but what about the rest? For it to come together in the last possible moment.
I mean, all that hate on the grind set and how they're not taking a break and stuff like that. It's great to see the team just fully embrace that, and it gives them the ability to do that, right? Other teams, you know, you don't get that stamina from what you get it from doing what Leviathan does.
Right, you don't survive
spending those days in, days out.
You don't survive a marathon best of 5 without grinding through positions just like that, without working through it in the month break that they took, and that month break paid off. Once again, Leviathan pull off the unthinkable. They make history happen against Cloud9, against the hometown heroes here on their own turf. The good news is you don't